everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Jordan Report, and I'm your host, Robert Jordan. Everyone, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, guys, let's go up to Chicago. I know most of us would probably notice the black-on-black crime that we're seeing in Chicago. It's something you can't help but notice. And you would think black people are responsible for most of what's going on there by looking at the news. That's not the truth. The black people are at the bottom of the totem pole down there. They're taking the beating, believe me. People are taking advantage of Chicago because of Chicago's location. Chicago is a major drug hub in the United States. This is the cause of most of the violence. I'm going to show you this article, then another one, just what happened in Chicago today, and then a news clip. Let me see if I can explain this. Here's the article. Why Mexico's Sinaloa cartel loves selling drugs in Chicago. Chicago is key to a business moving tons of drugs for billions of dollars. Here's how the whole operation works. Now, I can't read this whole article to you. I'm just going to read a couple of paragraphs, and then I'm going to show you and try and explain to you why we're seeing all this violence and why the government of Chicago don't want the feds in there. Okay? There's a reason why they're resisting the feds. The cartel scope is staggering. About half the estimated $65 billion worth of illegal cocaine, heroin, and other narcotics that Americans buy each year enters the United States via Mexico, according to law enforcement experts, though the drugs often originate in South and Central America. More than half of that is believed to be supplied by the Sinaloa cartel. This article goes back to 2013. So this was before the Sinaloa cartel has been, they lost Chapo and they lost a whole bunch of ground. They're not as big as they used to be. Drug enforcement experts estimate conservatively that the cartel's annual revenues exceed $3 billion, more than those of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group. $3 billion a year was going through Chicago. This was 2013. In Chicago, the cartel has a near monopoly. I say 70 to 80% of the narcotics here are controlled by the Sinaloa and Chapo Guzman. Virtually all of our major investigations at some point lead back to other investigations tied to the cartel. That's what's going on in Chicago, people. It's a major drug hub, and it's driving the gangs. There's 117,000 gang members in Chicago. Most of them are into drugs. This is what happened today. I'm going to show you a news clip, and we're going to get out of here. This is what happened today. Federal task force takes down leader of Chicago's street gang, Black Disciples, and drug trafficking bust. The Disciples are very old. This is one of the largest and oldest black street gangs in Chicago. Black Disciples street gang leader Darnell'Murder McMiller. McMiller was charged along with 22 others as part of a year-long federal investigation into gun and drug trafficking. The only way to do this is through the feds. Chicago has already been corrupted by all this money. This is why they don't want the feds crawling around the place. Feds seized 24 firearms, more than 1,300 grams of fentanyl-laced heroin, nearly 400 grams of crack, MDMA pills, and $50,000 in cash. All that comes from the cartels. All these drugs, cocaine, heroin, MDMA, all that comes from the Mexican cartels. Okay? The alleged gang leader is among 23 individuals facing criminal charges as part of a federal investigation of drug and gun trafficking on the city's south side. Among those arrested was, I just told you, McMiller, also known as Murder. McMiller is described in the charges of the current leader of the Black Disciple street gang in Chicago. Several other alleged high-ranking members of the Disciples were charged and arrested, including Clarence January, who allegedly leads the gang's dog pound factions. Kenneth Brown, who allegedly supplied the gang with drugs for distribution in Chicago, as well as Charles Knight, an alleged high-ranking member of the gangster Disciple street gang, who was charged as part of the probe with supplying narcotics to McMiller's crew. Okay, I'm going to show you their local news clip, and we're going to get out of here.
Alleged leader of the Black Disciples gang is among nearly 24 people charged in a federal takedown.
Also recovered a cache of weapons, drugs, and money. WGN's Dana Rebick live from the city's south side with more. Dana.
Well, just a short time ago, we heard from the 7th District Commander here, as well as Police Superintendent David Brown and members of the FBI. They are all calling this a major win, taking down very high-ranking members of the Black Disciples Street Gang, including, as you mentioned, the leader of that gang. That man is Darnell McMiller. Here is a photo of him. He is known, police say, as Murder. CPD, along with its federal partners, worked on this case for several years with help from informants, and yesterday made these arrests. Police seized 24 guns and large amounts of cocaine, heroin laced with fentanyl, MDMA pills, and more than $50,000 in cash, some which was found in a Southside storage unit, and most of it trafficked, investigators say, in the Inglewood neighborhood. Several other high-ranking gang members arrested include Clarence January, Kenneth Brown, and Charles Knight, who allegedly supplied the gang with drugs, as well as John Ector, the owner of a Southside nightclub called V75, who was the gang's alleged money man and is charged with bank fraud.
This was a significant event, especially as it relates to the reduction of crime, taking serious, violent criminals from the street. And it sends a message to those criminals that we are not going to tolerate violence in our communities.
You still got it?
Just last week, CPD announced and the FBI announced the arrest of nearly 24 individuals in another takedown in Humboldt Park. They called that Operation Monticello's Revenge. Live at the 7th Police District, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
Okay, guys, that's what they're hiding. That's why they don't want Trump running around Chicago. They could tear up the drug. He's tearing up their drug networks. That's exactly what he's doing. And people are losing money.